Hello, everybody, and thank you, Amelia, for giving me this opportunity to discuss my book, A Flicker in the Water. My name is Bob Gonzalez, and I'll be talking to you about the book for about the next 5 to 10 minutes, and hopefully interesting you in all things about the ocean and the fish and the seas. We'll start off with here's a little copy of what it looks like. Uh, that's a Goliath grouper on the cover. That's the largest of the grouper family. And I searched high and low to get that photo, and I loved it the minute I saw it. I knew I wanted it to be the cover of my book, and I was happy I was able to do that. Amelia has some questions ready for me, and I think what I'll do is I'll just read them to you, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. So, you ready to get started? Let's go. Okay, first question. Could you tell us about yourself? Well, like I said, my name is Bob Gonzalez, and I just authored this book, Flicker in the Water. It's a tale of ocean stories and fishing stories and tales of adventure, tales of heroism, educational stories in there too about the oceans and the fish. I learned a lot myself as I was writing the book, things that I didn't know that I think readers will find interesting. Okay, question number 2. What made you write the book? Well, it always was a subject that fascinated me, and the stories are near and dear to my heart, so I wanted to get them out there, and I was grateful that I was able to do that. What is the first book you remember reading? Well, that's a good question. Maybe the Bible, actually, the book of Genesis, where it all began. What's your favorite book? I would have to say The Old Man and the Sea, maybe, by Ernest Hemingway. And I was fortunate enough for my book, A Flicker in the Water, here. See if you see here on the bottom, the foreword is written by Mariel Hemingway, Ernest's granddaughter, who said A Flicker in the Water gave her a great sense of appreciation, which was meant a lot to me. Okay. What is the most difficult part of the artistic process? Well, the editing and the formatting and the proofreading, that's probably the hardest part. You have to be very diligent, very detail oriented, and that's probably the hardest part for me. If you could spend a day with another popular author, whom would you choose and why? Well, there's several of them out there. I like everybody who writes about adventure and about nature, things of that nature. Recently, I had a review from a commercial fisherwoman by the name of Tina Hogan Grant, and I'll be spending a day with her on a podcast here soon. How do you celebrate when you finish your book? Well, I celebrate by posting on social media and thanking everybody who made it possible and hoping it will become a great success. Okay, book questions. Where do you get your ideas for your books? You know, a lot of the ideas just come out of the blue. They just seem to come out of nowhere. Sometimes you could be reading something, or sometimes it's something you might see or hear. It's just, for me, it just comes out of the blue, sometimes when you least expect it. Sometimes you know what you want to write about it the minute you hear it, like the cover for the book. I knew I wanted that immediately, and I stuck with it. Okay. Do you try to be original or rather give readers what they want? Well, I think the best books have a combination of both. It's good to be original, but it's also good to give the readers they want, because if you don't give them what they want, they're probably not going to read you for too long. So I think it's a little of both. What kind of research do you do, and how long do you spend researching before beginning a book? For this book, I knew most of the stories I wanted to write about it. They were collections from my own memories, although there was some research that I didn't know about it before time. So I contacted Ocean Research and aquariums and NOAA and NASA and places like that to get a lot of my information. What's your favorite and least favorite part of publishing your book? Well, the creative process when you're writing is my favorite part. You just see the words come to life on the page, and it's just like watching a plant grow. You water it and it grows, and pretty soon you have a nice big tree, and that's how it is with a book. My least favorite part, like I said, is probably the editing process, because it's sometimes long and sometimes you have to do it several times before you finally get it right. Okay. How did you come up with the title for the book? Well, the title for the book was inspired by a yellowfin tuna. When me and my team were fishing in the Gulf of Mexico, we battled a yellowfin tuna for several hours. And when we saw it in the water, I called it a flicker in the water. And that's how I got the title for this book. Which of the characters in your book do you relate to the most, and why? Well, I guess that would have to be me, because I know myself, so I relate to myself the best. How would you describe your book's ideal reader? I think the book appeals to people of all ages, kids and adults alike, fishermen and landlubbers alike. I think there's something in there for everyone, because we can all relate to the oceans. How long did it take you to write the book? It took almost a year from the time I started putting pen to paper to the time it was finally published. It took about a good year. What do you hope readers take away from the book? Well, I hope readers take away a better understanding of the oceans, a better understanding of what the oceans mean to us from an educational and a spiritual point of view. I hope they learn a little bit about fish and fishing and the tales of fishermen. Where can people who are interested in your book buy your book? Well, the book is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Goodreads, pretty much anywhere where books are sold online. So you can order them too in your local bookstores. Just key in A Flicker in the Water, or my name, Bob Gonzalez with a Z, and you should be able to get it. And it's also available in the Kindle version. Are you working on anything at the present you would like to share with your readers about? Well, I have some ideas for books I want to write about in the future, but I'll keep those to myself for now, but I do have some ideas. After writing your book, what is your advice to people who want to become writers? Stick with it. Don't give up when sometimes it gets frustrating, when you can't find the right word. Sometimes they come to you when you least expect them. So just persevere. Do you read your book reviews? How do you deal with bad or good ones? Yes, I read them. Probably everybody reads their own book reviews, whether they want to admit it or not. It's one of the most fun parts, actually. And the ones that you can learn from them, what people have to say, good or bad. They can either like or dislike your style of writing or the content of what you're writing about, but you can learn from every one of them. Is there something more that I want to talk about? Well, yes, I do. I had two great experiences. Now that we're into 2023, on New Year's Eve, I had the opportunity to autograph a book for a boy who was just happened to be turning 10 years old on New Year's Eve. Can you believe it? 10 years old, December 31st, and he came up to me and he asked me to autograph my book, and I did, and I think it's a memory that both of us will cherish. And previous to that, December 30th, another little girl, she's probably about 11 or so, she was so excited. Her grandmother was from Key West, so a lot of the action takes place in the Gulf of Mexico and Key West, so she wanted her to have a copy of the book, and she was so excited, and it makes my day as an author and as a person to see kids' days brighten like that. It's really a good feeling. So that's it for today. Thank you very much, Amelia, for giving me the chance to do this, and I hope to do it again. Thanks.